They called it a flying jug. Big, slow, ugly. German pilots laughed when they first saw it. A chunky metal beast that looked more like a flying barrel than a fighter plane. But that laugh didn't last long. This is the story of how the P-47 Thunderbolt went from the joke of the skies to the nightmare of the Luftwaffe. When World War II began, the skies over Europe belonged to the Germans. Their fighters, the Bf-19s and Fw-19s, were fast, nimble, and deadly. Meanwhile, the Americans were still figuring things out. Then came this weird prototype. Heavy, clunky, almost twice the weight of anything flying at the time. It needed a runway long enough to host a parade just to take off. Pilots didn't trust it, engineers didn't believe in it. Even the mechanics probably thought, this thing's gonna explode if it sneezes wrong. But inside that big, ridiculous frame was a monster. A 2,000 horsepower Pratt & Whitney R2800 double wasp engine, one of the most powerful piston engines ever built. And once they strapped a turbocharger to it, the P-47 could climb higher, dive faster, and hit harder than almost anything else in the sky. It didn't look like a Predator, but it sure hit like one. When the Thunderbolt first arrived in Europe, the German pilots weren't impressed. They thought it was a slow, easy kill. Until the first squadrons started diving at them from above, screaming out of the clouds at over 500 miles per hour. 8 50 caliber Browning machine guns, each spitting out 1,000 rounds a minute. That's like strapping a tank to a jet engine and saying, go play. Those early dogfights flipped the story overnight. P-47 didn't just shoot. It soaked up bullets. You could hit it, shred its wings, tear through its tail, and the thing would still fly home. There are stories of pilots landing Thunderbolts with cylinders missing, wings full of holes, oil pouring out like a fountain. That's not a plane. That's a flying refrigerator with anger issues. By 1944, the Thunderbolt wasn't just a fighter. It was a ground attack demon. It dove into enemy convoys, strafing trains, tanks, and columns of soldiers. If you were on the ground in occupied France and heard that deep thunder above you, you prayed it wasn't a P-47. Because when it opened fire, it didn't just hit you. It erased the road you were standing on. The Germans called it Jabo, short for Jagdbomber. To them, that word meant one thing: run. At first, new pilots hated the Thunderbolt. It was heavy, hard to maneuver, and drank fuel like a drunken sailor. But once they learned to use its power, that dive speed, that durability, they became legends. Names like Gabreski, Johnson, and Schilling. They didn't dogfight like Spitfires. They attacked from above, hit hard, and dove away. Classic monkey tactic: hit fast, disappear, don't get caught. By the time D-Day rolled around, Thunderbolts were flying thousands of sorties a week. They shredded German logistics, blew up tanks, trucks, bridges, you name it. Even when newer, sleeker planes like the Mustang arrived, the P-47 still had its purpose: pure destruction. It could carry rockets, bombs, even napalm. Imagine being a German convoy commander and seeing that fat monkey of a plane diving at you with 8 guns blazing. Yeah. The laughter was over. By the end of the war, the Thunderbolt had flown over 500,000 missions. It destroyed more than 86,000 targets on the ground and shot down over 3,700 enemy aircraft. It wasn't pretty, it wasn't graceful, but it was tough, relentless, and brutally effective. Kinda like a monkey with a coconut helmet and a banana gun. You laugh. That's it for today's mission, soldiers. If you enjoyed this debriefing, hit that subscribe button before I throw my banana at it. I'll see you in the next one. This is Monkey at War, signing off.